you the kids with their pumped up kids about it. Holy God. Alright. This is exactly the type of stuff that I think is the wildest freaking stuff that just lives on YouTube, okay? Stuff. Editing AJ here, just to very quickly apologize. I keep calling this Columbine. It is not Columbine footage, and I am very sorry that I get this wrong. I have now done, like, way too much research, and my fucking search history looks like a mess. Trying to reverse image search this shooting, I don't know what it is. Maybe FSU? Maybe? If anybody can tell me what specifically this is, that would be really cool. Mostly because I don't like to have wrong information. But, again, at this point, there's concerning stuff. More concerning stuff. More than usual concerning stuff in my search history. So, if you guys could correct me in the comments, and please also take my Columbine commentary and all of that with a grain of salt. However, my comments surrounding Columbine and the victims of, and the children of victims of, and survivors of Columbine should be treated with equal measure regarding whichever shooting this is actual footage of, and any freaking, you know, act of domestic violence, terror, school shootings, anything like this. So please keep that in mind, and please forgive me, mea culpa. I am human, and frankly, I would like to say that I'm an amazing researcher, but I am also a broke researcher, and I probably, I should not have opened my mouth before I said definitively what shooting this was, so I do apologize, but let's get in with it. So this is a channel called Pocket Lens 2, okay? And they are very clearly, let me make this 100% explicitly clear, advertising a product with these shorts, okay? There is no ifs, ands, or buts about this. Take a look at this. We're gonna go ahead, and I have pages at this point. I wanted to find the origin of what was going on here, because I was like, was this a one-off media thing that they thought would be viral? Who authorized this to be a good idea? Was this a campaign marketing stunt that they've continued to do? Are they using other footage? You know, there's a lot of questions here, and I found that they pretty much recut 3, I don't want to say successful, but it's successful in terms of their channel's engagement and audience. 3 successful shock value clips. Columbine being the first. And then some things that they would probably get even wider heat for. And I do mean that literally. And we'll go ahead and look at one of those next. If maybe you're looking over here, maybe you can see some of the notes I have again. But the one that I just showed you with, you know, let's call it what it is, school violence, that was the one I stumbled on. That's the one I stumbled on. The very next one, in their modus operandi, oh gosh, I look like an idiot right now. Open the hyperlink, thank you. Is this one. I'm sure you can guess. Listen, I don't have a lot to say about these, especially when they're using videos of a child. I don't know if these are other clips, but come on, we all know exactly what that footage is, and we aren't the only ones. You and I, we were looking at this and we're like, oh, this is... And then there's most of the comments, and this is the part that truly gets...
Bombastic side-eye. Criminal offensive side-eye. Do you understand?
Me when you look at these videos on Pocket Lens 2, they have, I mean, they've got views. That's the crazy part. But then you go ahead and you click in, barely any comments, but you have people. This one is a pretty much completely normal video as far as I can tell. Sure, they make it look a little sketchy, but like, there's nothing that off about this. This is a regular, everyday short, okay? They get some engagement on this. I don't know why they feel like they have to immediately then, and let me see if this might even be on the same day, but July 5th, 2025, okay? And look, people, like, this is not the only comment praising this stuff. Most of them are like this, and there's, like, you know, there's people here who obviously want to comment and who obviously find it disturbing, as it should be, because, listen, this is footage that needs to have a censorship and warning on it because of the fact that shorts are so accessible to children. I don't think that videos should be censored if that is what you are looking for. However, when you are advertising a product, okay, like a freaking camera, let alone something that is supposed to bring people together, the last thing that you would expect is to have something pop up that is so visceral and so, I mean, there are, how do I put this in a way that I don't want to sound insensitive, but maybe it's because I'm being too sensitive with this, but there are teenagers who have experienced school shootings. There are children of survivors of Columbine who are in their teenage, in their early 20s, you know, people who are severely affected and personally affected by events such as these that are being portrayed to advertise a pocket keychain camera. A $40 piece of crap technology, honestly. Like, I mean, sure, it's cool, especially people who may not have cameras, and I've actually seen the creator and the you know, the poster of these videos respond, and we'll take a look at that here in a second, respond in some comments saying things like, well, if you don't even have a phone, I mean, this works great, you know. However, that doesn't excuse the fact that these are not images that should be utilized for profit, for gain, and particularly not on a short, which I assume is probably getting shown to children. Now, let's go ahead and I'm going to show you what I consider to be the genesis of all of this, okay? So we've got a ton of 9/11 footage. We've got some other things. We've got the New York song. That's a huge one. We have some other shots of 9/11 as well, and some other, like, plain, you know, plain misbehavior. You know, it's, and then there's this one, which, these are not the origin videos. These are ones that I found leading up to the origin videos. And again, I didn't go through every single one, but they take all of these, reclip them, mash them, use different intros, the same intro over and over again, different songs, same song. They repost the same exact clip 3 times on the same exact day to see if they will get any better engagement. How is this something that is, especially now with YouTube's terms and policies changes coming out on the 15th, how is this something that is still, like, how is this not flagged? That's what I want to know. How is the footage of 9/11 not flagged? How is it still being pushed? How are they getting so many, you know, such a volatile amount of views? Like, look at this one. Okay. 806 views. Look, it shows one of their TikToks, it shows the product on Amazon. There it is. This is a totally normal video. Like, there's nothing wrong with this. But they get really low engagement. That is why they are doing this. The shock value, the engagement value, even if they aren't getting comments, even if they aren't getting likes, even if they know that it's angering more so than it is helping to promote what they're trying to sell. People are still clicking the link, people are still looking at it, and people are still checking it out without saying anything about it. And I mean, I could go on every single one of these and comment, but look, they post other normal ones and you get, what's the name of the camera? Like, very basic engagement. This is another one that they've clipped, reshot, done 100 times, but it still doesn't get the engagement they're looking for. So if you're looking at it, I mean, so many of these are going to look completely normal. But then there's a couple that, besides the shock value, the giant shock value, there are some that I think are even a little bit sketchier, okay? So in between all these 9/11 photos, videos, clips, and all these terrorism stuff, all this school shooting violence, when they're just scrolling through freaking shorts, I mean, unless I'm going to a video to look up something, you know, I'm not wanting to be jump scared by that. Let's put it that way. However, there are some videos, and this is what I keep trying to come back to, that there are some strange pictures and strange... There's just strange stuff. Let's look at this one. So, this one has a video of a woman or a picture of a woman in a blue blouse. A white blouse, goodness gracious. And it also has, you'll see, Spider-Man, where the hell were you? Huh? It's your city, bro. But, like, there's some of these that just seem extra strange. Like, sure, the 9/11 is in there, and that's thrown in there, but that woman in the white blouse pops up multiple times. I got a Natalie Wood vibe from her, but obviously it's not Natalie Wood. I mean, clearly that's not Natalie Wood. I don't know what that could be, but what I do know is that they just have so many of these pictures, one-off pictures and videos that are just the oddest vibe. Like, I wonder if they're like, sometimes, like, some of them strike me as deep cut pictures of like homicides and stuff. And look at this. 1, 2, 3, you know where these videos are going. And look, they are just maybe slightly different frames, maybe slightly different lengths, maybe, you know, some of them get stuff. And then they also advertise different cameras. Memories. Yeah, okay, like this is one of the ones that is super sketch, okay? So, I will include a screenshot of this. I have no idea where this frame, and I'll show you as it pops up here. Shoot. Okay. I cannot find the origin of this. It was right there. Gee whiz. Okay. I have done a reverse Google image search of this. I have looked for it. I have even signed, well, not signed up, but like kind of signed into an Instagram to try to see if I could watch the video that this was directing me to. And I will insert a clip or a screenshot basically of a more zoomed out picture of this. At least it seems to be of the exact same girl, but with weirdly enough, a heart hair clip. And a little bit different, but you can like clearly tell that it's pretty much the exact same girl, exact same picture, exact same sidewalk. It's just zoomed out a little more, and I'll post it here. Yes. I don't know what to make of this. This same picture is used a few times throughout. It's just so weird. It's weird. There's so much weird stuff. But now I'm going to show you the origin of all of this. Okay, so we're going to go back in time just a little bit to May, mid-May of this year even. And we are going to look at a beautiful wedding video as soon as I can find it. There it is. There it is. Wow, look at it. In fact, it's posted several times. You saw that, right? Yeah, I saw that. Okay, listen. They use that video a lot. So, you can see here all their little wedding bridal thingy. Yes, yes, yes. They do all this a whole bunch of times. Okay? Here is their very first video that they've ever posted. They actually posted some pretty normal photos from what I can tell. I haven't been able to find anything crime or criminal or whatever related to those photos. Granted, I didn't like pay for any sites that I would need to seriously dig through any archives or anything like that, but reverse image search didn't really give me anything. The dates didn't really pull anything up. But then they realized that their little marketing stunt of that type of an intro and that kind of nostalgia cuteness was not going to work. Look, they tanked, okay? They tried a couple other things. They tried like a different little intro. Look, it's even a different camera, like I've even mentioned. They do all this. They get some more beautiful lighting shots, some maybe LA. Still isn't working. So pretty. Can't tell if that's anything. Totally might be.
But the most beautiful things in life are not just things.
But they do these completely interspersed.
Their feelings and moments.
And they have some good content. Like, this would not be that terrible. It's a, you know, if that's what the photo does, or that's what the, if the darn camera set does what it says on the tin, it's not a bad deal for $40. You keep it in your pocket. You keep it with you. It's a cute little digital SD camera. But we shouldn't be marketing them in ways that are such... We're acting as if humor is the acceptable way to deal with tragedy. Hold on. Before you dogpile on me, I agree that that is oftentimes the way to deal with tragedy. But specifically, humor to deal with tragedy on a wide-scale basis that still affects people to this day, and doing it in a way that markets, advertises, and sells a product for your own personal gain. That's the problem with this. So, here it is. This is the video. Right there. That is when they realized that they could get some engagement. Look at the comments. 32. And we can see that they reply. Maybe don't even have phone. You know, I understand that pocket lenses too. But like, this could have been funny. This is humor to a degree. You can tell, like, this is a funny haha. I can get down with that. I can't get in the same boat with you when you are using horrific footage, things that could truly trigger trauma and PTSD in people, whether it be the 9/11 attacks, whether it be a school shooting, whether it be, hell, I don't even know, getting railed over a frickin' sink and it's footage that you didn't want posted. Like, there is a time and place. There is dark humor, there is dark comedy, there's dark things that can be found funny, and there's an appropriate place for that. Selling a junk camera off of Amazon that you haven't even produced or licensed, basically drop shipping it, is not the way to do it. It's just not. People just, they fed them a little bit with these comments and the engagement, and Pocket Lenses 2 just ran with it. And I can't say that I blame them, because they've learned that shock will get reactions, and reactions will get responses, and there's gonna be people who don't even care about the footage or care about the method of sale and method of advertisement. They're gonna just buy the product. And if they buy it from that link, all the better for this channel. All the better for this seller. But all the worse for the fact that there were innocent people whose lives were irreparably damaged and who might stumble across this while you are freaking advertising a shitty $40 keychain camera as memories and nostalgia. This is levels of bonker to me that cannot be matched. I mean, I know that there's worse stuff out there. I know there's other stuff out there that's like this. I know that this stuff happens. But for this to be so small and to be so buried, and for the people who have seen it to make very little commentary and very little compulsion to say anything against what they are seeing, as opposed to say, oh, not gonna mention that. We are not only allowing this behavior to happen, we are encouraging this behavior to happen. I mean, to some degrees, there are humor in this. Some of these setups have humor to them. I can't deny that. But to sell a product, it isn't right. Because I don't think that anyone should be profiting off of this footage, off of the shock value that they can garner from it. And maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe everybody should be able to just profit however they want to off of the footage that they want to, off of the shock value, off of the blatant disregard for people. But I'm pretty sure that there are better ways to do this. I'm pretty sure that reusing the same 9/11 footage 20 times, or the same Columbine footage 20 times, I'm pretty sure that that is not the way that any channel makes money. I'm pretty sure that that's not the way that any channel makes good videos. I'm pretty sure that that's not the way that any channel is able to garner an audience that actually wants to stay with them and actually cares about them, whether it be a product for sale or it be a long-form, long-term creator. I don't want to support this. You sell 2 to 3 different cameras. I don't even know if the product that I'm getting is going to be the same today as it was yesterday. And you're also doing it off of the back of my country, having gone through one of the worst days of its entire freaking life. I was almost 5 when 9/11 happened. I lived just outside of DC. It's where my family still lives. My father worked in Crystal City. He was in the Pentagon for business meetings, in and out at any point he could have been there. We knew people who were personally affected, who personally lost their lives in the tower attacks, in the Pentagon attack. And it has affected my way of how I have seen a lot of things in life. And I think that there are times and places for humor, and this is my Roman hill, okay, or my Roman Empire, or however it's called. I can find things from 9/11 funny. I can find comments and jokes and humor in something that was horrific. What I can't do is I cannot sit idly by, and I cannot sit quietly when I see footage from that day. Even if it is not incredibly graphic, it is still shocking. I will not stay silent when that footage of that day that affects so many people still is being used to make profit for somebody. I don't care if it's a $40 camera. I don't care if it's a $400 phone. I don't care if it's a $4,000 camera. I care about the fact that this is not appropriate, that this is not right, and that this is not what anyone with a sense of moral right or wrong would do, especially not over and over and over again on repeat, like a broken frickin' record. Get better, Pocket Lens 2. That's all I have to say. AJ out. Stuff. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. I know that this was literally the weirdest fucking video for a channel to start out with, but like, I have a reason, and that reason is that this is the video that got me up off my butt to finally say something. Like, I was just gonna focus on the gaming tutorial, like, deep dive stuff that I was working on my other channel, but I've been wanting to make a channel where I just talk about stuff that I find for a while, and this is the one that did it, and it got me up off my butt because I was, you know, righteously angry. And listen, this is going to also seem hypocritical because of the fact that I'm making a video on it. I'm showing this content to a smaller degree, but I'm showing the same content and I am bringing light to this. And I want to make it expressly clear a couple of points to finish this video off. That, first off, I want to make it expressly clear that I do not intend to monetize this. I do not intend to gain off of this video except for, you know, some light on it, maybe some discussion about it here in my comments, because I do not want them to be getting any more engagement on these videos. They do not need it. They didn't need the views and the time that I spent on it, but I do think that it's important that small buried things like this are shown in the light of day to make the right people aware of it. And I realize that I am an incredibly tiny channel. Like, literally, this is the first video, okay? But, I don't know, maybe this video can get to somebody who's bigger, and they can talk about it. Maybe, you know, I don't know, maybe Oompaville and his famous tact, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, somebody who talks about these things, who does it better than I do, and who is able to get the attention, the correct attention brought to it the way that it should be. And so following up on that, if you see this video, if the algorithm hits this, you know, please don't go to this channel. Don't give them your time. Don't give them your comments. Don't give them your engagement. Don't give them what they want. If you feel the need to report them, that is your choice. But I believe that, especially with the changes that the policies are coming about, hopefully, especially this repetitive content, will be brought down on its own. However, it's hard for YouTube to, get the right eyes, and I mean the right human eyes, to view the things that need to be viewed on time. So, I would really appreciate it if you guys could maybe just clip some of this, or you don't have to share the whole video, but maybe just like point this out to some people who could maybe be like, hey, YouTube, can we talk about this? Because advertisements also need to be, you know, like, we need to say that it's a sponsored video. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of things that aren't correct about this video, and I didn't even get into a lot of it. Some of it is stuff that I am not well versed on enough to be able to go into, and I apologize for that. I apologize for coming on here onto, onto a forum where I am speaking about something that I should have more knowledge on. However, you know, I feel like you're supposed to be, you know, not just saying, hey, there's a link in my bio. You know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to say that it's sponsored. We're supposed to say that it's advertisement. We're supposed to say that it's a product for sale. Anyway, that's all. Thank you again so much for joining me. Thank you again if you do help bring light about this in the right way. Again, don't take any hate over there. They're not worth your time, literally. I also believe that they are very likely somebody who probably just isn't doing very well or isn't in a very good economic stance, and who probably, if they are making any money off of this is their way to make money. You know, there's a lot of things to consider here. And if y'all see this, if you guys, you know, if you there at photos, shoot, let me remember the name. See, look, my brain's even forgetting it now. Pocket Lens 2. If you guys over there at Pocket Lens 2, if you all see this video by some happenstance, I would really like you guys to go back to your other pictures. Like, you have some really pretty boho stuff. You've got some really like, I actually think your intro with the little balcony and the little pink flowers and dropping it, I actually think that's really cute. Ain't so happy about the frickin' airport terminals. Like, your product is cool, and I would have actually considered purchase if you hadn't used a mass tragedy to advertise and sell it. That's wrong. Do better, please. That's all I have. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and, you know, stay smart. If you did like this video and would like to see more of it, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. That would be super cool. Thank you so much. Bye.